Hey guys, Koukun here. Today I'm at a property that we're preparing to list. This was a student rental and we're going to be listing it in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to go through the process that we help investors when they decide to sell their rental properties. And in this particular case, there were quite a few moving parts, but we've gone through all of that hassle in order for these investors to get the maximum sale price. Now, if you're interested in investing in real estate, check out our beginner's guide to investing in the Niagara region in the comments below, and you can even book a 15-minute call with me in the description as well. Let's get into it. A few months ago, the investors who owned this property came to us and decided that they wanted to sell this property. The first things that we did was, when we looked at this property, we knew that a home buyer would probably pay a higher price than an investor. So the key important fact from that is we needed to negotiate with the tenants a cash for keys arrangement, meaning the investor is going to pay them some money in order for them to move out and find another arrangement. This was a little bit dicey. The tenants didn't want to move out at first, and the investors had to increase how much they offered the tenants to ask them to move out. So it ended up actually being in the 5 figures to get all 4 of the tenants who were living in this property out, but it was all worth it because when the home is vacant, we're then able to do what we're doing now, which is to prepare the place. So we've already had junk removal come in. They've loaded a truckload of stuff out of here, right? We've really cleaned up the place in terms of just junk. And next, right now, we're in the middle of touch-ups and basically a small renovation. So when you have a property you're going to list, many times there are so many small things that need to be fixed, and that's what we're in right now. So this is the entrance of the unit, and behind you right there is the 2-piece washroom, which also has a shower. So I get a 3-piece washroom. The paint, for whatever reason, before the investors owned it, it was not painted properly using bathroom paint. So the paint was peeling, it looked terrible. So part of preparation for listing is to scrape off all the old paint, put I believe some kind of sealer that kills any mildew, and just put a fresh coat of paint just to freshen it up. As we come over here to the living room, this was in decent shape, but it's like a green shade of paint. So what we're doing is getting this whole living room painted like an off-white color. Basically, it's going to look fresh, clean, and bright. But, if the buyer likes a different color, they can just go right over it with whatever they prefer. So we're not making the color choice for the buyer, but we want it to look presentable so that when they come in, it looks good. Another part of the work that we're doing in this unit is to actually take off all the doors of these cabinets, sand them down, repaint them. We're trying to keep the cost down. We're not trying to redo the entire kitchen, but it just looked pretty dated. You can see the paint's peeling out here. So by doing it, we're just gonna give it a clean look, and hopefully when a buyer comes in, there's nothing that really distracts them where they feel like this home is gonna be a lot of work. We want it to be in a condition where someone can move in and it's a decent condition, but not necessarily doing upgrades to bring it up to a high standard. That we're gonna leave up to the buyer if they choose to do that. Yeah, so when we're working with investors to sell their rental properties, we've seen it time and time again where the difference between what you can get with tenants in the property and if you do what we've done here can be as high as $25,000 to $30,000 between the different sale prices. So that's why we usually recommend our clients, hey, do a cash for keys, get the tenants out, get the junk removed, get it painted, clean, so that the buyers can do what they want. They can live in it, they can rent it out at the market rent, and it's easy to show it, and it's a much easier sale process to the benefit of the seller where they can get a higher sale price as a result. Now, one of the things that we like to do when we're selling properties like this, especially when there's some time before it's going on the market, we've already put a sign outside this condominium building where we've said it is for sale as an exclusive listing. Once all this preparation is done, we're going to knock on all the doors of the neighbors, hand out some flyers, even put some flyers on the building notice board just to let the neighbors know. If they have any friends and family, try to generate some interest. And we typically do this about a week before we go to market, so that we create a bit of a buzz around this property coming on the market. Everyone knows about it, and we may get a few people who actually want to buy it themselves. But even if they don't, we're trying to get it geared up and get it ready so that as soon as it goes on the market, we can get a ton of interest and hopefully try to get it sold very quickly. Because when a listing is freshly listed and there's a lot of interest, a lot of showings, it presents well, that is usually what we've seen. That is when you get the best sale price. If you start listing it higher, you haven't done the prep, you haven't done the work to get that attention, you can have it on the market for a month, 2 months, 3 months. That extended time actually works against you many times, because on the buying side, we work with investors who look at the properties that have been listed for 60 days, 90 days, throw in lowball offers. We know at that point the sellers are a little bit discouraged, and many times even the listing agent, they're just tired of having this listing. They're trying to convince their seller, hey, let's accept a lower price, let's get it done. Our approach is, let's do the work before putting it on the MLS, so that when it goes on the MLS, we're just getting the most amount of attention. It may sell in a couple of days or it may sell quickly, but it's been a few months of work to get it to that point. And that's what we prefer. Do the work up front, have it as a straightforward sale once it's on the MLS. Hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you're interested in discussing maybe selling your rental property or maybe your primary home, feel free to book a 15-minute call. I have a link in the description below, and we can discuss your situation in particular. Until next time, all the best.